For many young athletes, the dream of advancing their collegiate career is one that often originates in their own backyard. This year, the NCHC has taken steps to amend their recruiting process, and the new legislation will let kids be kids.
The changes made were long overdue. The recruiting environment had become unhealthy. Through incredible efforts of many, we were able to usher through watershed legislation that has and will make the recruiting experience better.
He just meant it was getting too young. I think for the players and for the schools, you're making a decision at such a young age for the kid and a limited amount of the viewing for us, that it just got a little crazy. And kids were maybe picking the wrong schools. Schools were maybe recruiting a kid before they knew exactly what they were getting. And the new rules pushed it back a year, which I think everybody's happy about.
I wasn't really recruited that young. I mean, I started talking to schools when I was a junior in high school too. So, I mean, it was a weird experience for me with my brothers. I mean, being recruited so young, stuff like that. But I mean, I still had plenty of opportunity to talk to the schools I wanted to, and St. Cloud was the number one on my list.
Nobody on the committee felt comfortable creating legislation that allowed for recruiting conversations to happen with 8th and 9th graders. That's a big part of what we were attempting to eliminate.
With the entire NCAA adopting the new rules, players and coaches have mixed feelings about the changes.
I don't know if it's that big of a change. I know, like, when I was 14, 15, I wasn't talking to any schools at all. Like, I was just playing Bantam hockey, and there are some, like, early bloomers that, you know, maybe it might be a good thing, because if a kid's dominating at 14, 15 and he's 6 foot, already maxed out his height and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe people won't look at the younger guys as much, and I mean, a lot of our recruits and commits, even my teammates here, they got recruited at a late age, and I think late bloomers are kind of the thing right now. So it's definitely going to change that, but I think it's going to help teams know that the younger kids still have a lot of time to improve and develop.
It has a major impact. Again, you can't even talk to a kid. You can't tell the coach you're going to offer him. It just backs everything up, which I think is like, again, everyone's in the same boat. So you have to adjust to the new rules, and I think everyone's still adjusting to the new rules.
Yet for St. Cloud State's Brett Larson, his focus will be both on the old and the young.
Well, we try to have a little bit of a mix. We will go after a couple young kids now within the rules where they're at, but you also want to make sure you save some scholarship money and some room for the older late bloomer kid, because some of the best kids ever to come through St. Cloud have been kids that were recruited when they were 19 or 20, and we're seeing some of the same things now with the kids that we've got here, where those older late bloomers can be a huge part of your program, and a lot of programs are doing a really good job of being patient enough and finding that right balance, and that's what we're trying to do here. Not always go after the young hot shot per se, be selective there, but make sure we're doing the right things to make sure we have opportunities for that late bloomer kid.
We were not intending to create perfect legislation. I don't think that's realistic. We were attempting to create legislation that attacked an unhealthy recruiting culture. And although more time is needed to analyze the impact, the initial feedback is that it's doing what it was intended to do.